also welcome on board now Sahaj Agarwal, Head of Derivatives at Kotak Securities, and we also have Somil Mehta, Head Alternate Research at Mirae Asset Sharekhan joining us. Morning, gentlemen, and thanks so much for joining us. Sahaj, we'll begin with you. Give us a sense of what you believe the market construct could look like today. Given we were rather range bound yesterday, we've ended just shy of that 24,950 levels. Do you see us surpassing 25,000 and staying there for good today?
A very good morning to all. So I think yes, we are in some exciting times. The undertone for the May series continues to remain positive. So really not expecting too much on the downside. And on an immediate basis, yesterday I think we flirted around with the 24,900, 24,950 level. Today expected to open a bit with a positive bias. So my sense is yes, we should trade, with a positive bias, and the immediate range that we're looking at is 24,800 and 25, 250, 25, 300 to the upside with buying on dips advisable at least for the near term. So yeah, that's the view that not much downside, and I think a sustain about 25, 100 could give you an immediate bump up towards the 25, 250 mark. So surely positive, broad-based participation seen, and looking at expecting the markets to further inch higher.
Right, so that's the take coming in on markets. A very good morning to you, Somil, and also Sahaj. Thank you so much for joining us. And Somil, let me come to you. And what should one make out of the market, given the fact that yes, we've seen some bout of consolidation creeping in, and I don't think anyone should be too perturbed about it or disturbed about it, given the fact it's always healthy after such a sharp rally. You see some sort of soberness or semblance coming into the market, isn't it?
Definitely, it's very normal and it's very healthy to have a break. Uh, Markets have taken support at 20 hourly moving average yesterday. I'll be expecting the short term and the medium term outlook to be positive. I'll be expecting this rally to continue on the upside for a target of 25 300 levels. So now support levels would be at 20 hourly moving average, which is 24,900, close to 24,900, and 40 hourly moving average, which is close to 24,800. I'm not expecting anything below 24,800. That's one thing. So buy on declines would be the strategy. Overall, if you see, there is sector rotation going on. Railways were doing very well at the start of the week, and then before that, defense was doing really well. I think from here, banks will pick up and have a very good rally on the upside. So keep an eye on banks, smaller banks, PSU banks will be doing great. I think the outperformance will come from the bank Nifty.
Right, so that's the take on the markets outperforming expected from Nifty Bank as well as the banking space. Within that, the PSU banking space and the smaller names is something that you should be watching out for. But Sahaj, what are your preferences when it comes to sectors? Because of late, yes, a lot of sector churning underway, like Somil was just highlighting. From defense to railways, they have already done well. These do fall into some of the smaller sectors. But other than that, any sector that stands out for you at this point in time?
I think expecting action to continue in the high beta space, which is reality is expected to do well, metals are expected to do well, and I think the main flavor currently happens to be in the mid cap space, and that's where we are finding a lot of opportunities where the risk reward is favorable and we're seeing value as well. So keeping that thought process in mind, M&M Finance from the NBFC space looks pretty interesting. It's been consolidating. The overall larger term trend is also positive. The current correction seems to be more of a pullback as an opportunity to get into the stock, coupled with the fundamental positive bias. So M&M Finance is one stock that we would like, support placed at around 250. And on the higher side, maybe the stock could inch towards 300 in the near term. So that's one opportunity that we really like in the NBFC space.
M&M Finance looking good to Sahaj right now. Somil, what about you? What would be your stock picks for the day? How would you position your trades for today?
I think I'll be looking for banks. As I said, PSU banking looks great. Indian Bank looks really good. It has broken out of a small consolidation on the hourly charts. On the daily charts also, the momentum indicators on the buy side, about 20-40 daily moving average looks great. So Bank of India stop loss would be 112 and the target should be 130 levels. Probably above that as well. I'll be looking for a very good rally on the medium term outlook as well. The second stock I've chosen is from FMCG Dabur. That stock is looking really good. After a very long time, there is a positive divergence and the momentum indicator has given a buy signal, high top, high bottom formation. So the stop loss would be 469 and the target should be around 517.
Watching out for today. Sahaj, you did speak about M&M Finance and you liking that in the NBFC space, but apart from that, looks like you like also the metal space.
Yeah, so Coal India also looks interesting. I think that's one stock which has seen some strong consolidation, and we're seeing a trend line breakout out there. The fact that the market's consolidating, even the stock is giving a bit of a pullback. So we believe 375 is a strong momentum level for this particular stock, and on the higher side, we would expect around 460. So yeah, the broader market is in action, and that's where the opportunities seem to be.
All right, so those back, let's take a look at what the GIFT Nifty is implying for us. We're at least implied to open with a slight bit of a gap up, 100-point uptick coming in on the Nifty spot. So all eyes are going to be on how the market shapes up today, but also a lot of individual stocks are going to be in focus. And Gaurav is joining us with a list of all the stocks to watch out for in today's trade. Gaurav, morning.
Well, yes, first let's talk about Ola Electric because board is going to consider fundraising via NCDs on 22nd of May. Other than that, Ashok Leyland is also going to be in focus because here also board meeting is going to happen on 23rd of May where they will consider bonus share. Other than that, Mahindra & Mahindra is in focus today because company said that they will be fully subscribing the rights issue of Mahindra Lifespace. That will be at a price of around 257 rupees per share, which will help Mahindra Lifespace to gain around 1500 crore rupees. M&M has also said that they will be subscribing additional or unsubscribed share subject to legal compliances. Other than that, there are some stocks which will be in focus on the back of the Q4 earnings. So first let's talk about BEL and NLC. BEL reported very good set of numbers with EBITDA margin expansion of around 400 basis points, while NLC also reported very good set of numbers with EBITDA margin expansion of around 500 basis points. Other than that, we also have Karur Vyas Bank, Petronet LNG, DLF. All of these companies reported good set of numbers. On the other hand, we have got mixed set of numbers from Power Grid, Gujarat Gas, New India Assurance and Quest Corp. When we talk about Power Grid, we saw revenue increasing by around 2.5%, but net profit almost remained flat on a year-on-year basis. On the other hand, let's also talk about PI Industries and JK Paper because weak set of number is what we saw. When we talk about PI Industries, we saw a decline of around 11% in terms of net profit on a sequential basis, while JK Paper saw a decline of around 77% in terms of net profit on a YY basis. Lastly, let's also focus on some of the stocks which will be on focus sentimentally. First, let's talk about some of the MNC companies in the likes of ABB, Siemens and Nestle. Because now as per agencies, India is going to consider stricter plans for companies with foreign ownership. And lastly, let's also focus on some of the steel counters in the likes of JSW Steel, Tata Steel, because China has now cut their benchmark lending rates after 7 months. So definitely a sentimentally a little positive news for steel sector, and on back of this we will be watching out on all these stocks today.
All right, thank you so much for that, Gaurav, for putting out telling us the stocks that will be in focus and back of news flows today. But let's talk about an important development. And sources have told your channel that the government has informed the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs that the initiative for the cessation of the military operations came from the DGMO of Pakistan. You have the Foreign Secretary, Vikram Misri, has also rejected the United States President Donald Trump's claim that he negotiated ceasefire between India and Pakistan, whereas India and Pakistan bilaterally arrived upon an understanding in order to go ahead and stop the military action. Makili Prakash, who's been tracking the development very closely, is here with all the details. And Prakash, what are the findings of this briefing?
The Foreign Secretary was summoned by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs to get details about Operation Sindoor. Developments happened in the last few weeks and a future ahead. It's a very significant development coming in. Sources are suggesting that the Foreign Secretary has made it very clear that the Foreign Minister's Jaishankar's statement was taken out of context. In fact, he informed Pakistan about Operation Sindoor after the first attack on May 7. Remember, Indian Armed Forces had launched attack at 9 locations in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to target the terrorist establishment on May 7. And after that, Pakistan was informed about India's action. It is important to note that the Congress party, a leader of opposition, and some other opposition parties have raised concern, accused Jaishankar of alerting Pakistan in advance, which was outrightly rejected by Foreign Secretary. He made it very clear that Pakistan was informed about the action after the first attack on May 7. When it comes to boycott Turkey calls on social media and government's action, Foreign Secretary told the members that historically India's relation with Turkey and Pakistan have not been good, and the government is taking it as it is. When asked about Trump's role in ceasefire, Foreign Secretary has completely rejected any such claim. He said there was no third-party involvement. In fact, India and Pakistan was mutually agreed on stopping military action. There was mutual agreement between both the parties, and there was no indication of nuclear attack from Pakistan. So it was a very significant development, a very long meeting. Lasted for 3 hours. In fact, Foreign Secretary has made a presentation, taken almost all the questions. However, citing national security reasons, he avoided questions pertaining to number of Indian aircraft shot down by Pakistan.
All right, thank you so much, Prakash, for getting us all those details. But back with the markets then, and let's put the spotlight on the auto space, and specifically, let's talk about Ashok Leyland, because Sahaj, that is one of the newsmakers today. The company has announced that on 23rd of May, they will consider a bonus share issue. Nothing that really changes fundamentally for the company, but indeed with such sort of an announcement, we do see the stock getting excited for a bit. Give us your sense on Ashok Leyland, because of late, I was just seeing that the stock is trying to make a comeback and moving above that 240 odd mark.
Yeah, so in fact, two bits on this. The first bit would be the rather medium-term trend. I think the stock has been pretty resilient, and despite the market having corrected so much relatively, the stock has outperformed. So my sense is that the trend of the stock is positive, and even from the medium-term perspective, I would maintain a positive bias on the same. Having said that, yes, the stock has actually, in fact, broken out of multiple, given a multiple positive setup. In fact, there's a trend line breakout and there's a range breakout as well. So I think stock is positively biased for sure. As a momentum trader as well, I would be interested on the back of the positive news that you just mentioned. Currently trading around 240. I would say around 225 seems to be an extremely good support, which was the previous resistance level. And on the higher side, one can expect a 265, which is the all-time high for the stock. So surely an interesting opportunity at this point of time.
The charts and quite the bullish outlook coming in. But Sahaj, I also want to get your take on some of these defense counters, because after a non-stop continuous rally that we've seen, you have seen cracks coming in, the likes of Cochin Shipyard, Mascot Docks, HAL, and more from the defense space yesterday. Do you believe that this is the beginning of the cool off of the defense theme, and now in terms of some sector rotation, we could see some momentum coming in from IT and FMCG?
I think that's bound to happen. The fact that the defense space kind of really took the lead, and possibly most of the stocks have achieved the previous highs as well. Some kind of a profit booking is expected out there. And why sector rotation can happen is, you have to look at the markets in the broader perspective that the rate of growth of earnings has slowed down for sure, and that's why the market is also in a bit of a consolidative phase, though with a positive bias. So yes, I think so. Sector rotation should be kept in mind for sure. And given the fact that the defense space has really outperformed, some kind of profit booking or consolidation out here could possibly happen, and the laggards could really take the lead. So I think the defense space is one of those sectors where sell on good news on the back of results could possibly happen, at least for the short term.
Right, so watch out for the defense space. Likelihood of sell on good news chances are more likely. On that note, thank you, Sahaj, for being a part of the show. Somil, let me come to you and let me have your take, especially when you talk about these EMS theme stocks, the likes of Keynes or Amber Enterprises, or for the matter of fact, Sirma SGS. If you look at their one-year chart, excellent returns coming in for all of these players, and that was also one of those go-to themes, given the fact that you had the government emphasis or impetus in order to go ahead and make in India as well. But over the last few months, and especially if you see the YTD performance of all of these counters, has not been too exciting. What's your take now? Do you think worst of the drop is done for these sectors, or one should brace themselves for some more corrections?
Sorry, I didn't catch the name.
I was talking about the EMS theme, the entire electronic manufacturing theme. You have Keynes Technology, Amber Enterprises, Sirma SGS. These are some of the counters that everyone goes to or talks about when you talk about EMS.
Yeah, so Keynes Technology, overall, this theme looks really interesting. It has given great returns in the medium-term outlook, in the long-term outlook. If we talk about Keynes Technology very specifically, I think it is still in the very good zone, and the strategy should be to buy on declines. Overall, if you see, if you keep a stop loss around 5345, you can keep going long on this stock in the medium term outlook, and the target should be around, in the very short term, the target should be around all-time highs, which is 7,800, but I'll be looking for a way higher targets on the upside. But in the short term, in the medium term outlook, positive bias.
All right, so let's watch out for some of these EMS related plays as well. But other than that, today all eyes will be on the cement pack as well, because today we have a report coming in from Nuvama highlighting that it's once again a price hike that the companies have taken in the month of May, while there are some concerns with respect to that there could be some bit of a roll back of these price hikes towards the end of May 2025. But just wanted to have your take on this, Somil. How do you see some of the south-based companies specifically, because that's what Nuvama has been highlighting, and I believe that India Cement, Ramco Cement are some of the south-based companies that one can look out for. But technically, if you can help us, how are these companies placed on charts?
I think, yeah, India Cement definitely looks good in the very short term. I would not go in still for a medium term outlook. So in the very short term, I think the targets on the upside for India Cement would be 340, and the stop loss would be around 312. But overall in this pack, I think the best, and for me, the favorite pick for me would be Ultratech Cement. And Ultratech Cement, I'll be looking for all-time highs. And in the very short term, you can keep a stop loss around 11,568. That will be a very, very crucial support for this stock. And you can go long in the medium-term outlook, in the short-term outlook as well. Overall, ACC, Ambuja Cement also looks good, but these stocks are in a broad range. So if Ambuja Cement goes above this range and breaks above these range, then I think it will be a great buy in the medium term outlook. The breakout for Ambuja Cement would be around 586. If it closes above the stock, I think it will be a great buy from those levels. And on the upside, I'll be looking for at least 650 levels.
That's a take on Ambuja Cement, and Ultratech also is something that Somil is liking at this moment on the charts. Somil, I'll come to you for a real estate outlook, but before that, let's bring our viewers up to speed on what's happening on Maharashtra's new housing policy front that is likely to be launched at the end of this month, and promoting affordability and sustainability remain the key focus areas of the government. My colleague Anurag Shah is here with exclusive details on how this policy could pan out and when we can expect the earliest rollout of this. Anurag.
After a long wait, Maharashtra's housing policy is finally set to see light of day. After a gap of 18 years, Maharashtra is all prepared to launch a new housing policy. The last housing policy was launched in 2007, and we have seen just before the model code of conduct announced in state of Maharashtra. In October, Maharashtra government came up with a draft notification of new housing policy, and the housing policy is set to benefit all stakeholders. The focus of housing policy is on affordable housing, to give incentives for green housing, to give an incentive for redevelopment project, and for developers also there are proposal for the premium rationalization. So as per our sources, by month end, Maharashtra government is all set to launch the new housing policy. The policy first will be brought in the cabinet, and after the cabinet decision, the cabinet will give a final note for the new housing policy. There are other, as per our sources, there will be a dedicated redevelopment cell to be set up within the Mahada for the redevelopment project, especially for the city like Mumbai. Then a project to get a support through TDR, premium rationalization and incentive will also be the part of new housing policy. Single window clearance system to be implemented to ease project approvals, and policy also aims to accelerate some slum rehabilitation in urban areas. So these are the main focus areas of housing policy, and Maharashtra is all set to launch new housing policy after 18 years.
Okay, Anurag, thanks so much for taking us through that. So the highly anticipated Maharashtra housing policy expected to be launched at the end of this month is what our sources are telling us. It's coming into play after 18 years, so that's going to be a key development to watch out for. But Somil, I just wanted your take on the same. We've seen very good set of numbers in Q4 coming in from Brigade, DLF. All of them have done well. Real estate, the Nifty Realty has been on a tear ever since the earnings season has kicked off. Help us understand if this is only purely on the basis of underperformance coming in the past and now the sector is improving, and if you had to play this sector, would you be going on marquee large cap names like of DLF, or you have macro tech that are doing pretty well, or would you now start also preferring some of these small developers? How would you prefer to navigate your way across this sector?
I think the big names would be all right in the portfolio at this point of time. I think my favorite picks from this space would be Oberoi Realty and Godrej Properties. Oberoi Realty has already broken out of a small consolidation. All of these stocks, like Godrej Property and Oberoi Realty, both the stocks have been consolidating in a very small range, and now they are breaking on the upside, which is a great sign in the very short term and on the medium term outlook as well, because the momentum indicators on the weekly charts on the higher time frame have given a buy signal, higher top, higher bottom formation, trading about 20 and 40 daily moving average. Great setups for these stocks. I think for Oberoi Realty, the stop loss would be around 1635 and the target would be around 1900 levels. And for Godrej Property, the stop loss would be around 2144 and the target would be around 2525.
Coming in on the real estate space, but let's talk about the real estate ancillary space.